Welcome to Bloom with Bobby, where men and women from all walks of life share their story, and parts of their story is compared to a particular blooming flower for the women and for the men, a particular tree. Hello, I'm Bobby Hobson, and my guest today, and I'm going to read it to you. He is a husband, a minister. He served in the military in the branch of the Army. He works for the Memphis Police Department. He is currently attending the Memphis Police Department Clergy Academy. He would tell us more about that. He is a member of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Memphis, Tennessee. He's the chief armor bearer. He's the overseer of the men's ministry. He's on the praise and worship team. Please welcome my guest today, Christopher Springfield. Hi, Chris.
Hello, good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm blessed.
Yes. We ask our men guests to choose a particular tree that they can compare themselves to. And Chris chose a tree that I really haven't heard of, but he's going to tell us about how he and the balsa tree, that's Balsa tree, how they kind of share some of the same characteristics. So, Chris, tell us about you and the balsa tree.
Well, the balsa tree is considered the strongest tree in the world. It is known for its hardness, as far as which I can relate because I'm not easily broken and I'm always striving as far as to make everything okay, regardless what the situation is. It's known for its flexibility also because of my ability to adapt to any environment I'm in. I believe if I walk in a room, I could change the atmosphere as far as the room I walk into. I feel that any negative energy should be gone when I walk into the room based on my walk and my relationship as far as with God. And then the compressibility of the balsa tree because of the simple fact of working with work, all my other interactions, church and family all together as far as to continue moving forward.
That's good. I have observed you as well. You have a very even temperament, and what really I think when I took notice of you was when I watched you on the praise and worship team. I think it was some event, and you were so into the praise and worship, and I said that's part of Chris's calling. So I'm going to ask my first question, and that is, who has impacted your life the most up to this point? So tell us about those individuals.
Well, who impacted my life the most was my mother, more so than anything, because my mom, she raised six of us by herself, working at Pizza Hut. And she did 48 years, and she raised all of us, pushing us and dragging us to church. And she made sure we was in church. And by me having that foundation at an early age, I never left the church at all from the time I started directing the choir at age 9 at Summerfield Church till the time that I went on to college and started a gospel choir in Atlanta, Georgia, and then went to the military. But young, and then also a group called Young Life. It played an important part where a lady by the name of Rita Hayes got me involved. She was a Sunday school teacher at my church, but the program Young Life, it incorporated kids where they would pick us up from school. We would go and play games, and one of the counselors would get up and talk about the Bible for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we would, disperse as far as from that. And every year we would do a camp in North Carolina, as far as where all the young lives, they was all over in 50 states. They would all come together, and it would be like one big revival for a whole week, and where we would work on winning souls for Christ and showing people that it's a such thing as clean fun. Most people feel, especially young people, that if you give your life to Christ, you got to go around quoting Bible scriptures to everyone you see. You can't have fun when you really not having fun until you start your life of Christ.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Uh, I don't know if you had a great turnaround. Many people have. So tell me what your life was like before the great turnaround, if there was one.
Well, I accepted Christ at an early age, at the age of 9, as far as being involved. But when I really can say my turnaround is once I got of age and learned more and realized that I need to let him lead me and guide me more and basically trust in him more. That was the turnaround as far as knowing that I was going to need him. And the foundation of being brought up on the word of God, it allowed me to digest everything I came in contact with. So I guess my turnaround would say me trusting God more and letting him lead my steps instead of me trying to make my own steps.
Chris, that's awesome because you don't hear a lot of that. Uh, I call it God will keep you. And so we always hear about how someone came from the jaws of Satan, some very tragic event. But we should really also focus on individuals that were kept, that God has kept them, that they have such a story that you are telling us right now. So tell us about your heart for ministry.
Well, God actually, my heart has always been in the church, but God prepared my heart for ministry as far as more toward the chaplaincy phase where I can help people as far as dealing with grief, loss, and at a time of most needing comfort. He prepared me because of the simple fact that when I retired out the military, I came back to Memphis to take care of my mom until she passed away with cancer. I took care of her the entire time, and it allowed me to grow and develop a heart even more for people as far as going through, as well as I have went through a few issues as far as in Bosnia, but being around people. And it's what people needed, a smile, a change a day. And everybody needs someone to listen to, and everybody has a story. And if a person could tell their story, they could deal better with their story and they could come out of their story. But all they want is an ear sometimes for people to listen to. So I try to use every conversation as ministry, but do a lot of listening because listening is the golden part of any conversation. So.
It is. It is. Well, tell us about what you value most and why.
Well, I value God and family most because um, I value as far as us being together, even though she allows me to be the head and she allows me to make the decision, but she is my partner as far as walking with me side by side. And most people think that when a woman should submit, that you got to do what I say and do all that. No, it's not that. She's a help as far as, some things, and basically you have to just keep and compare running things, together. Communication is a big key in any marriage. And so I value my communication as far as with my wife more than anything in the world.
Well, Chris, what is your definition of a real man?
My definition of a real man is a real man knows how to treat people with respect and find value in people without tearing them down, honors his wife and family also, and build up instead of throwing their failures in their face. A lot of people tend to throw failures in faces, and he works hard for God, but never for a paycheck. Because if you work hard for God, it allows you time as far as to be with your family and to have that quality time with your family and a quantity of time. And also integrity plays a big part, being able to do what's right, whether people are around or people aren't around, having that self-control to where you don't let people push your buttons and you don't let people orchestrate your attitude as far as versus their attitude.
Was there ever a time when you thought that you may not make it?
Mm. I don't ever recall having a time when I thought that I wouldn't make it, but the hardest thing that I learned was watching my mom. Like I say, I always felt if she could raise all of us on their job, working at Pizza Hut, where sometimes we didn't have nothing but pizza to eat, or the spaghetti that Pizza Hut used to make back in the day. Sometimes that was dinner, and you got tired of pizza, but you didn't realize at the time that that's what mother was doing, but she kept us fed that way. And today, trying to take care of 6 kids, it's hard taking care of one. So trying to take care of 6 with the way the economy and the way things are today is very hard. So it allowed me to treat all women with respect because each woman is somebody mama, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's good, Chris. Tell us about the Memphis Police Department Clergy Academy. What is that all about?
when the Memphis Police Department Clergy Academy, I just started it last Thursday, but it shows churches as far as it shows a lot of the ministers and churches how to work with the community because as we say, the harvest is the community. It's up to us to gather in the harvest, which most churches a lot of times stay inside the walls, but our work is outside the wall as far as the harvest because they the ones that needs to hear. And that's where the seeds need to be planted as far as in them so they can see our light shine and see us as far as walking right. Because most of the people in the world, a lot of them, a lot of people don't know what it's like to be a man or what a man's supposed to do. And so when they grow up in a home, if a man sees, his daddy, seeing his daddy hit his mother or do anything, and nobody will tell him that's wrong. And if the woman accept it and come back, the child is going to feel that, hey, it's okay for me to do the same thing. So it to a pattern, and that pattern has to be broken by allowing them to see, okay, you can have a decent and upright family and that relates and that works together and that strive as far as to make it.
Right. What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self as far as to be quiet and listen, because a lot of advice that was given to me, I see it now that I'm older. If I would have only listened back then, I might would have been a little further in my career, a little bit further in life. And as far as have, I guess, a closer relationship earlier than I did as far as starting my walk with Christ. I don't regret it because it was a learning experience and I wouldn't change my upbringing from the world, but I should have just listened a little bit more.
Yeah.
Older people
You're
trying to
doing fine, Chris.
life.
What is
Man,
your outlook? What is your outlook for the future?
well, my outlook for the future right now, I'm trying to work on my board certification as far as for chaplaincy. So hopefully I can make a difference in a hospital as far as with people who are going through any process, regardless what gender, what culture, what nationality, it doesn't matter. I have the heart as far as to let them know that, hey, there is somebody you could talk to. There is somebody who is not going to judge you. There is somebody who have your best interests at heart. Because that's what most people want is someone who have compassion. And that's what the world is missing today, compassion. And it's a fast-paced world. People running, but they're not thinking about no one else but self. And so that is my strive, and that's what I plan on doing. after I retire from MPD, hopefully in 6 more years.
Oh, wow. Oh, you will. And kudos, I want to say to your wife, who is my hairdresser, Denise, let her know, and the world will know that she has a wonderful husband in Christopher Springfield. I always tell her that. So, yes, and so she's been my hairdresser for way over 20 years. And so, Chris, I want to thank you so much for being with us on Bloom with Bobby today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Thank
you.
you. And thank you all for watching. I do encourage you to tune in to Bloom with Bobby, because you have no idea, and many times I don't either, what story I'm going to hear. I love to see stories that are inspiring and they are able to uplift and encourage someone else. And so that's one of the reasons why we're here, relationship wise, is to lift each other up and inspire each other. So this platform is one of the things it's meant to do, is to do just that, to lift people up, inspire them, and encourage them. So if Bloom with Bobby has been an inspiration to you, I invite you to please subscribe to this channel. So until next time, be blessed.
Thank you.